Today, I want to talk a little bit about Final Fantasy XIV. I know, you all are patiently waiting for my next breakdown or psychology video. I am working hard on those, so no worries. If you haven't been following me on socials, I'm working on the KH2 data battles next for my breakdowns, alongside the 358 over 2 days DS breakdowns, which I'm really excited for. I'm also working on the Psychology of Namine as well for those that are looking forward to the next psychology video. It's all coming out, those just take a little bit longer to make. And these more discussion-based videos where I can just kind of yap are a lot easier to put together while I'm working on those. That aside, today I want to look at the new Ultimate Raid that came out in the recent patch of Final Fantasy XIV, because it has the most Kingdom Hearts coded fight, and I want to talk a little bit about it. So, to give a little background for people that don't play Final Fantasy XIV, this game is released in expansions, and so each expansion has a patch cycle where new content is added semi-regularly. In patch 7.1 of Dawn Trail, which is the latest expansion in Final Fantasy XIV, a new ultimate was released called Futures Rewritten. It was based on a raid series from the Shadowbringers expansion, which I could probably talk for hours about Shadowbringers and how good it was. That was, if you want to talk about like Kingdom Hearts coded, it's literally just like light, darkness, the battle between them, and so good. The Eden raid series in that expansion followed two girls, Reen and Gaia, as they seek to return the dying world back to normal. Gaia and one of the raid bosses were actually designed by Nomura himself, and while he did not have a hand in the scenario writing, there are some really interesting things around memory and light versus darkness that Kingdom Hearts fans would love. One of the climaxes of the story has the antagonist trying to remove someone's memories in order to pull them over to their side, which sounds pretty similar to Marluxia's plan in Chain of Memories. There's even this part where Reen jumps into the darkness to save her friend. And I think actually when I first went through this, I made a meme about it because it's like so similar to Kingdom Hearts 3. But yeah, just very strong like connections, light and darkness, memories. There's just so many like really small things that just give the vibe of Kingdom Hearts. Obviously, I don't want to lay out the entire story because this is literally one of the best raid series in the game, and it's super fun to experience for the first time, both in the gameplay and the story. So if you haven't tried it out, I highly suggest that you do. Okay, so that's most of the background. I kind of jumped through it really quickly just to give some context, but in this most recent patch, the Ultimate that came out was based off of this old raid series. This was called Futures Rewritten Ultimate and is a grueling 20-minute long fight where if you make a mistake, it will almost certainly end with your whole party failing and causing you to go back to the beginning and start over. The fight centers mostly on Reen and Gaia, pulling in the Fate Breaker, which is an amalgamation of a couple characters fused together into a monster of a guardian. Much of the fight is fighting through the Oracle of Light and Darkness, but the final phase takes a turn, shifting from the original story, and has the two fusing into Pandora, a being of equal parts light and darkness. The first time I saw this, the moment she called forth her blades, all I could think about was Oathkeeper and Oblivion. Just the vibes of this whole final phase is just so Kingdom Hearts, I don't even know how to explain it. I know like Kingdom Hearts doesn't have a copyright on light and darkness and like the mix of light and darkness, but just like so many of the aesthetics and the look of it just It just has such a, I don't know, a deeply Kingdom Hearts feel. Is this one attack where Pandora does this like striking attack and sends out these blade slashes that move across the field? Or this one where the two closest players bait these line attacks of light and darkness? I don't know, I love it. I think it looks so awesome. I like to think of this as like a dive to the heart sequence because you can see all the memories circling around the arena as Reen and Gaia fight to take back control from Pandora. And it even gives me like that Xion vibe where like as the memories are coming back, Xion starts having those headaches and like grabs onto her head. And that happens like multiple times throughout this fight. And of course like memory head hurting, like that's not Kingdom Hearts, but it's just like there's so many like little tiny things. I don't know if I'm getting it across well enough, but it just has such a distinct feel. This ending is just incredible where you're given this second ultimate attack called a limit break, as both Reen and Gaia encourage you to deal the final blow, even crying out alongside the limit break if it's the final hit. The heart behind it is just incredible. Also another little detail, but if you don't win, the Enrage has this really cool attack where Pandora fuses the weapons together, kind of like a form change, and then strikes with this giant sword and rains down an attack on the party. As the darkness kind of takes over, you see this final goodbye from Pandora with a new blade. Speaking of weapons, the ultimate weapon you get from this is incredible. The light and darkness creating this duality on each weapon is just so good. Funnily enough, if you look at old thumbnails for like Final Fantasy XIV and other videos, I blend Oathkeeper and Oblivion into the weapons that I use. Even my like main branding has an Oathkeeper and Oblivion form change of a Buster Sword. I just love the aesthetic of a blend of light and darkness. So when I saw these ultimate weapons, I knew I had to clear this fight. And if you follow me on socials, you saw how that journey turned out as I slowly lost my sanity, but I did it in the end and it was worth it, right? Right? Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this smaller video. I try to keep 14 to my other channel, which if you aren't following and you like Final Fantasy XIV, be sure to head on over there. I'm about to work on a breakdown series over there, covering raid series and covering the different jobs and their animations. Kind of like what I did for the Kingdom Hearts form changes and dry forms. Just having a way to catalog all of the different jobs and animations that I really like in that game. So if that sounds interesting, go ahead and subscribe over there. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like, drop a comment, subscribe. That all greatly helps me out. And if you want to go the extra mile, you can always become a patron or a channel member here on YouTube. So if you are a patron or a channel member, your name will be up on screen right now. Thank you so much for the support. It really, really means a lot. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video.